Well, this is a genuine wow moment, and we don't get many of those these days, do we? So, welcome then, the all-electric Ferrari Luce, a genuine game changer and the company's first all-electric car. What you were expecting? Didn't think so.
Coming up, we'll show you every inch of this new Ferrari, from the stop you in your tracks exterior design to the touchscreen denying interior, plus those Rolls-Royce style rear doors that welcome you to a truly sumptuous rear cabin. Previous supercar EVs have stuck to the established mid-engine format, but so far buyers just haven't been interested. In a fascinating move, Ferrari hired creative agency LoveFrom to do the exterior and interior design. That's headed by former Apple Chief Design Officer Sir Jony Ive and co-founded by industrial design legend Marc Newson. Creative types like to call this sort of thing contamination. Ferrari describes it as an unconventional, multidisciplinary perspective. Easy for them to say.
Well, that's one way of putting it, I suppose. So, quick recap on the specifications. Obviously, a brand new electric architecture, totally bespoke, full of proprietary tech that Ferrari has developed itself. 4 electric motors, 1 on each wheel, 1035 bhp, 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds, top speed of 192 miles per hour, claimed range of 330 miles, and it weighs 2,260 kilograms, which isn't that bad for a 5.1 meter long, 5-seater EV. But the real surprise here is the focus on usability and versatility. There's room on board the Luce for 5 full-size adults, and as you can see, a pretty large boot as well. So take those elements together and the fact that it's an EV, so it needs to be very aerodynamically efficient, and the result is a spaceship shape and some rather unusual surface language.
Ferrari did actually explore an F80 style supercar EV, but decided that it was a philosophical dead end. Let's face it, if you want a supercar, you probably wanted to have a combustion engine. And the electric tech obviously adds weight and complexity and hurts dynamics and so on. Having ruled that out, Ferrari was liberated to try something they've never done before. The engineers also improved the torsional rigidity by integrating the battery pack into the body. As a result, 95% of the components on the Luce are new.
There's obviously loads of incredible tech in this car, but in this film, we're going to focus on how it looks outside and feels inside. So let's get into it. There's no getting away from this. The Luce is different, very different. Grist to the mill, in fact, for all the rage baiters out there. But what I can tell you is, seeing the car in the flesh, is that it's expertly executed, meticulously engineered. It has rear hinged back doors, a flying bridge C-pillar, and a genuinely concept car-y vibe. I really do like it.
The rear wheels measure a whopping 24 inches in diameter, the front's 23. During his time at Apple, Ive and his team transformed the nature of our relationship with computers and technology in general. The iMac, iPod, and especially the iPhone were all game changers and lovely objects in their own right. Well, you can see elements of that here. Of course, doing a car is a completely different challenge. It's like designing 100 different products in one.
Although it's a big car, the Luce actually sits lower than the Purosangue and has a lower center of gravity than that car. But it's a different sort of machine, and it goes about things in a different way. Car designers love the kind of monobox form, that teardrop thing. I mean, it's very aero efficient if you get it right, but it's very risky as well, because you can end up with an amorphous blob and a saggy butt. The Luce tries to get around that by having this passenger cell, so it's almost like a car within a car. It's also the most slippery car aerodynamically that Ferrari has ever created. They won't tell us what the drag coefficient is, but, well, look at it. And at the rear here, these quartet of lights, oh, well, that's a callback to some Ferraris from the past, so it is kind of looking over its shoulder at the same time.
The windscreen flows directly into the bonnet, which reaches an endpoint under a floating nose. Few cars have fewer shut lines than the Luce, and the one between the screen and bonnet is an amazing example of design and manufacturing technique. Achieving tolerances like this is not easy.
So slender little daylight running lights here, the main beams are down here. I mean, I love the front end, I really do. This floating wing effect is amazing. The way it's packaged as well, I mean, the gap between the top of the suspension uprights here and the, well, it's not a front, but you know, the front bonnet area, millimetrically precise. And check out where the wipers park either side of the screen, which means that this whole area here is completely uncluttered and clean. You've just got this sheer surface that runs all the way through. Fantastic. Tricky to do as well in terms of manufacturing. I bet these guys, both at LoveFrom and in Maranello, would love to get rid of windscreen wipers.
That tech actually does exist. It's called hydrophobic. Maybe next time. Ive's peerless track record during his time as Apple's design boss is surely a big part of the Luce's appeal. Ferrari reckons most of the buyers will be new to the company, and its techie provenance is a draw. The interior doubles down on this idea. We were in San Francisco in February for a preview, but the various elements were presented separately, so it's only now that we get to experience everything in context, and that makes a big difference. Ive and Newson are detail obsessives. Open all 4 doors and check out the fit and finish on the sills and the pillar surround. Amazing. Have a look at the hinges themselves, they're mini sculptures. And look at how much space there is in the back. This isn't just big, it's a limo. And even the boot compartment's cool. More nice hinges and struts out here.
So the dials in the main instrument binnacle ahead of the driver are quite simply the most beautiful I've ever seen in a car. When you go through the chassis modes, it's the way the color on the dials fades gradually. That's the really, really cool bit, I think. Steering wheel feels wonderful in your hands. I mean, of course it's a throwback to 50s and 60s Ferraris, but the rim is just the right width. It's not too chunky. It feels like a traditional Ferrari that's kind of teleported into the future. The way this screen pivots in this ball joint is just sensational. This activates the launch control, and the inspiration for this is from helicopters. It's fantastic. It's just so tactile. This is a single aluminium substrate, so there's no bend radius in it. It's a single piece.
You don't even need to look at the central screen to find the climate controls. There's physical switchgear with little protective bump bars to satisfy the regulators. The fan icon keeps spinning and speeds up as the motor behind it does. There's a palm rest so that operating the toggle switches is, well, a bit like tinkling a little piano. And the way the screen pivots on the ball joint is just really satisfying.
I mean, it's the antidote to the tyranny of touchscreens and button madness that we have in most modern cars.
The button to release the rear hatch has a little luggage graphic on it. And look at the way the air vents move. It's like performance art.
The car is a bit of a manifesto for that kind of thing. The things that look simple are invariably incredibly well engineered. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, but what you're presented with is, you know, just elegant, beautiful.
The center console is designed like a self-contained product, one that makes glass the hero feature. That's being developed by long-term Apple supplier Corning, whose work in the iPhone's so-called Gorilla Glass has enabled them to create something both visually and practically robust inside the Luce. The key lives in a special recess and uses e-ink so that the yellow in the Ferrari logo transfers to the drive selector when it's docked. Magic. As is the clock compass combo on the central screen, which has a similar level of complexity to a high-end mechanical wristwatch. Even the seat runners have been reimagined, and they normally don't get much love, or any. There's also a new audio system with 21 speakers, 3,000 watt output, and processing done by proprietary Ferrari software. And LoveFrom has even created its own typeface for the Luce. The guy who did it grew up close enough to Maranello to hear Ferraris being tested. Nice.
Look, I'm in the back of a Ferrari. Look how much space there is. It's a proper limo. Loads of headroom as well. And I love these. Oh, there's just so many things in here you want to touch. Tactile. Very cool. Of course, Ferrari will still sell you a car powered by a 6, 8 or 12 cylinder engine, so relax and step away from the keyboard. This is not an endgame scenario. Instead, this is a company really maxing out on the ambition. It's proper Blade Runner stuff. Ferrari's always like to challenge, and persuading its clients to go fully electric might be the biggest yet. But we salute the fact that they are really trying to do so.